Alright, so this is Rhythmomaker. This is supposed to be devlog number 2, but with a couple of changes since the last few. Decided to make a video this time just to show off a few of the features that I added since last time, which has been a very long time. And I guess just because of laziness, I was just working on it a bit slower than I'd like and what was the norm beforehand, but in general most of the things are done, so I'm going to just show off what this is about, just for documentation purposes. And focus mostly on what it can do and not necessarily how it does it, even though I might just say a couple of notes what changed since last time, at least from what I remember. So the saving system was working until very recently, because I had to rewrite the synchronizer system. That was actually the last thing that I did to implement a feature that I'll talk about in a second. So exiting it is working as well, no need to show that, but to open, this would be working as well until I had to change synchronizer. So I disabled all saving and loading system, but it's already possible to choose from the user's computer the project to open. So it's possible to serialize the information, like the functions are grayed out at this point. Alright, so getting in exactly what this does. This is explained on devlog 0, so I don't think I need to talk about that. So it's possible to choose number of measures. It's possible to choose how many beats per measure, so I guess time signature. At least for now, I'm gonna keep it simple. I might add composite time signatures later. So for example, we can choose 6 bars and 4 is fine. After creation, we are greeted with the editor window. So a lot of the names changed because I just cannot decide on names in general. This is called editor window now, at least for now. And we have the menu down below, the page right here. If I switch, I put 6 measures, it has 4 measures in each page. If I move, page 2 opens, and if I go back, page 1 opens instead. We have probably up here first, so these arrows I just used are for turning pages. We are now in editing mode, and this is the editor options. So it's a menu that has the different editors that you can choose from. We have, I guess, the most important, the notes and rests, in which if you select a measure, you can add up to the right number. Alright, that's the first lag bug that I found. This was not doing that before I rewrote synchronize. I have no idea why it changed. Probably during the commenting, not necessarily the synchronizing, but I was commenting stuff and I probably deleted something I shouldn't. So I have to fix that. I don't have to. This is also what this documentation is for. To show that a lot of things are broken all the time. It's just normal. Anyway, I can add as many figures as I want up to the number of figures that the measure allows, you know, depending on the how many bits I allowed per measure in the very beginning. So I said 4 bits per measure. We have 2 half notes, that's 4 bits total, 2 bits each. This is also working. The display is slightly smaller now, so the way, this is one of the big differences between last time and this time, between Devlog 1 and 2. Recently, I was testing this with my mom, and it was completely broken, so the last couple of weeks were literally just for bug fixing. And I added one extra feature I'll talk about in a second. But one of the things that was not necessarily buggy, but was not working out very well, was the size of the pages. They were a bit too big, so you couldn't really place other stuff that we'll see in a second above it, like ORF instruments, symbols, or dynamics and stuff like that. So what I did, I realized that there is a lot of space here used by the menus and below by these things that can be used, however not while in editing mode. So what I'm doing, what I decided to do is to put the pivot center of the page right in the middle of the screen, and then after I press play down here, it actually scales to become, for the page to become a bit bigger. So everything that, for example, I can already go here and show off that this is, for example, dynamics. And if I place mezzo forte right there, so I would want to place it here, but I can't. So if I place it right here and I press play, oh, I have this music. Wonderful. I'm gonna change it in a bit. This is the default. I'll change it in a second. Well, that's actually very nice. You know, very nice opportunity to show off that it's already possible to upload music here. But one thing at a time. So you could see that the dynamic moved to the edge of the screen, so it has this rectangle, like from here to here until here and there, that expands once the play button is pressed. So everything is used, like the entire screen is used all the time, which is nice. So now that we are open here, I can actually show off markers. I don't remember if it was already on Devlog number 1, but at least now here they are visually. I can place them anywhere. One of the bugs that I had was actually I was attaching it to the object that displays these menus, which is a terrible idea, because when I turn pages, they would stay in the same place, because when I turn pages, the menus don't disappear. Now, since they are attached to the pages themselves, when I turn them, the markers go away, or you know, they stay on their page, which how pages work. And these three are markers. So this is dynamics. This are ORF instruments. So you can place them to say which instrument is supposed to play this section. Or for example, this instrument can place this. This instrument can play that part. And you can place them wherever you like. It's always attached to the page itself. It's not necessarily attached to measure because I'm not playing, or notes because I'm not playing with sound. This is just rhythm and visual, not auditory. The listening part obviously has only to do with the music that is being played. So you can choose between all of these, and then there is also sections, and this is a known bug. I clicked twice, so it creates two sprites. I have to fix that. That's already on the list, not like the previous bug that I did not know about. And there is sections until H. So you can say that this is A section, and then you can turn the page if you want, and you can say that this is B section, for example. And I can also show off the delete button. Right now, visually, it's a bit crappy. As you can see, when I go here, it actually goes below it or under it, which I don't really like. I probably forgot to, in all my rewritings, to tell the markers to always draw on top of everything else. It was working before, probably I deleted it in one of the rewrites. The idea is, though, that you can click there while selecting it, and it goes after your mouse. It gets deleted. And this is for the markers. For the notes, you can delete them by selecting the measure, and then it deletes the last note of the measure one at a time. I can write them back just because, so we have at least something to work with. So this is what the delete button does. Oh, measures are working. Now, actually, I'm curious. Interesting. The notes don't. So when it's on notes. Okay, I have no idea why the measures were happening. Oh yeah, the connecting is fixed now. It had obviously to do with the scaling. Now, because the scaling is minimal, I don't even know if this scaling is not actually one to one, and it only scales up afterwards and not scaled by the figure but by the page itself. So everything is scaled equally and there is no separation or no overlapping. It's perfect now. That's a nice side effect from changing the scale, how the scaling works. I was only planning to do it to use all the space available. Turns out it also fixes the connections between notes. So I have no idea what that bug was about. Apparently it's working now. Probably it's on instantiation. I have to check it. Anyway, so it's possible to change between rests and notes, and it's possible, now I need a fresh measure, to add dots. So that means 3 bits plus 1 bit. This connection is already working as well. For example, if I place this and then that, it connects perfectly. Okay, this is the editor. Oh, I'm missing one. This one right here. And this is the reason why I had to rewrite the entire synchronizer system. Because the way it was working before was I was placing the duration of the notes inside or duration of each figure inside the figure itself. So if it was in automatic mode, so if the computer had to calculate how long, like in terms of time, not in terms of bits, but in terms of time, how long each note was, it would take the speed of the music and then know how long each beat was, and then multiply that by how many beats each figure is worth. And then it just took that number, it's a number in seconds, and put it in the figure itself. And then what the playback will do, the playbacker, I guess, it would go to that figure and then check how long it was supposed to be, and then just move on after that time was done. However, now, and this was the feature I added last, which was one of the things that my mom needed to do, and of course makes perfect sense, which is repetitions. That poses a really intricate problem, and it turns out that it, at least by what I think, it would not be compatible with this way of setting the durations. Because on live music, perhaps it would work on automatic, but on manual selection, in which you select the duration of each note by yourself, the user does that. When you do repeat it's possible that the duration might be slightly different from the previous repetition. The performer might be playing slightly slower without even noticing it, but the smallest changes on each note, it just add up to be completely out of sync. So I either would just add yet another variable, or at least make that variable a dictionary or something like that, or an array saying how long this is supposed to be on the first repetition and how long this figure is supposed to be on the second repetition, which seemed really sketchy way of solving things. Because, for example, for da capos, if I wanted to do a minuet and trio, it repeats 3 times actually. So it just sucks. I really did not like this idea. So, and then the other possibility was to actually teach the synchronizer system to read music, to just go each note, check how long that note is supposed to be, and put it on an array that is separated from the figures, and then the playbacker will just have this array, and then the first note is supposed to last the value in the first item of the array. The second note is supposed to last the second value of that array, and this way, when you do the repetitions, the highlighter goes back, and the playbacker just keeps going forward with the array, and by detaching the durations to the notes and just have them in the right place, just works wonders, because now I can even do 4 or 5 repetitions, and each time the highlighter is going to highlight back to the first note, and then the array of durations just keeps going. So you can have different durations for the same note in different repetitions, which is pretty cool. I think it was a pretty nice solution, and it works very well. I can show off here. For example, if I put repetition here and repetition there, and I will play it in a second. This is supposed to play this way, and then back here, and then repeat from there, because this is the initial sign of repetition, and then keep going, and then play. Well, I'll just add something here, just because, just to make it full, even though it doesn't really crash, but, well, it does crash if I don't put anything, so that's another thing that I have to fix. And you have, of course, all the other lines that you can add. I mean, here it doesn't really make any sense, so this empty was just to place on the previous measure in case we want a start repetition on the next one. That's why this is here for. Otherwise, it's just perfectly natural to put this, and you can have double repetitions. So for now, we'll just leave here. And now, before we play with this, I want to... Yeah, this is not working just yet. This, I think, it just creates a new project, and of course doesn't save the old one yet. I have to call that as well. Open and exit. So the interesting thing here are the definitions. There are no definitions yet for manual mode, automatic mode. I'll explain exactly what that is in a second. But for general ones, this is already everything working. You can add measures. For example, I want to add, I don't know, 2. Save. And now you have these extra measures. You can also remove them. So he always adds to the end. For now, I'm not gonna go full, composing software and allow adding in the middle and stuff, one thing at a time. Let's remove the measures we just created. Remove those two, save, and they are now gone. And then, so we change this track that I put just for default purposes. I'm gonna take it out afterwards. General, and we can load audio. Only MP3, which is not that big of a hassle. It's very, very easy to convert it in Audacity, for example. For example, we have it here, MP3, the audio that is actually right now there, this electronic music we heard at least a second before I filled myself of shame and deleted it, was WAV, because before building the software, it's possible to just upload MP3, WAV, and OGG, or WAVE, I guess. I have to learn how to say it. Damn it. Anyway, MP3, WAVE, or OGG, but this is while working on the software and during development. After building it, at runtime, at least I only found a way to do it and to upload MP3. I tried with WAVE, it was not really working, so for now I'll just leave it with MP3. So open and then import, and now it's the actual, which I don't remember the composer, it's such a shame. Anyway, yeah, now it's orchestral music. So let's talk about this now. By default, so there are two setting modes, duration setting mode. So what this does, I know this is in Devlog 0, but what this does is it follows along the music that you are hearing. The rhythm and the highlighting of the figures follows along the music that you are hearing. And after you write this, you can play. And I actually set the time more or less to the same speed of the song, of this piece. But the problem is, that's another thing that I have to change. I need to implement some possibility for the user to change the speed of the highlighter and to add some initial delay so it doesn't start right away. But basically what it does is just the computer detects and calculates how long each figure has to be depending on what figure the user writes down here. As you could see, you had 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 and 2 and yeah, or 1 2 3 4. I don't know how to count music anymore. Oh yeah, and it was repeating, as you could see right at the end. I didn't let it play out as I should have, but it was repeating. The repetitions are working. Problem is, musicians turns out human musicians are very unreliable with tempo. There is a later stage in this work that when the brass comes in, they actually slow down. So the computer cannot detect that. I mean, I'm not going to play now with wave speed, and no, I don't know nearly enough to do that. I don't even know if Godot does that. But the way I decided to solve it, as I think I already wrote, is to add the manual selection, which I might change to, I think I even already did in the English naming, I might change to manual duration setting, which is more accurate. So if we activate it and we press display right here, we can set the figures at the speed that we want by pressing right now the F key. For example, and they don't really have to be attached to what is displayed. For example, I can speed up here, and now it will actually detect, you see that there are different figures, but the speeds changed. And now, just to show that the repetitions are working, and to end. And now, if I press play with this still on, with the manual duration setting still on, if I press the playback, it actually does the speeds that I made. Like, it remembers them, it saves them somewhere. I don't remember exactly where, to be honest. But you see this crazy stuff that I did a bit ago. It's actually saved, and it can be reproduced by the playbacker. And that's pretty much it. I think this is all I made so far. I mean, there are still a couple of bugs that I have written somewhere. I might try to open them quickly just now. Yeah, right now I'm just organizing because I had to rewrite everything, and yeah, it was just, there are a lot of commented out sections and stuff that I did not comment on, and I might just forget why I did things. So I'm now reorganizing, renaming things. Turns out apparently you can create bugs from that. I have to find the way how to fix it and why it's even doing that. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, so this is what I'm doing right now. And then the bugs that it has, mostly it has to do with save and loading, because I basically just deactivated it so I could rewrite in peace. So yeah, saving does not work on audio, saving does not work on the duration time of figures. It does not work even this way anymore. Now I have to save probably the figures and the times in separate places, because so they stay separated. Save does not work on markers. Yeah, it does not work on anything. I just wrote in 3 different sentences, because this is what the save was not working on at the time when the save was working on, believe it or not. Anyway, initial delay does not get updated, and the user does not currently have possibility to set speed in automatic mode, neither initial delay. You could see that I could set the initial delay in manual duration setting. I will just press play and then just wait until I wanted to start playing. I mean, the music started right away, the piece. I might need also a different initial delay for that. We'll see. And then pressing quickly the editor option button breaks the editor. Yeah, this is another bug. I pressed too quickly when it was opening the editor, and it just created 2 different buttons. If I do that when closing, it actually crashes, which is just wonderful. But yeah, that's another one that I have to fix. And then the next thing that I will do, this will basically make it workable, I think. I could just say that it's possible to just work with this, if after I add the save and the loading and this initial delay stuff, and stop it from breaking, it will be basically possible to just take the program and run it anywhere. It's pretty small. Run it anywhere, and yeah, and just create rhythmograms from scratch with any MP3 file that the user will want. After that, I'm planning to add the features that at least I have written. I'm gonna check with my mom to see what the priorities are. To allow pickups, copy-paste ability, like Control-C, Control-V, so you don't have to repeat constantly the same measures. Select next measure after current is full. Right now, we can see that if I, for example, delete this and I press, I might speed up this animation as well. It's bugging me that it's so slow. If I press this, now the measure is full. I cannot click on anything. I might also add warnings for that. Right now it's printing to the console, which is obviously useless, but I might add warnings later. Anyway, now the measure is full, and my idea is, after placing the last figure, it will automatically select this measure afterwards, so you don't have to go here and then go back. It will just write the entire rhythmogram from beginning to end. And then, to allow user to save projects anywhere. This one is an important one. It might be the first one that I do. Right now it's saving on the file, how is it, on the folder where in the computer, like on the computer path where the program is stored. Not even that, like it's on a specific hidden folder called app data that the computer creates upon installing this program or running it. So if you take it, for example, on a pen drive, this is like 100 megabytes big, so it's pretty small, at least I think so. And I think mostly it's the executable, the Godot executable. So if I start adding stuff, it's gonna increase very little each time. Yeah, so if you would just take the program, which would be my idea, just take the program, put it in a pen drive, and then just take it to a different computer, you cannot access the saved projects anymore, which sucks. So I have to allow, it should not be too difficult, but still I have to be a bit careful about it. I have to allow the user to save it anywhere. The project, which is basically just a string, a JSON string with which figures are supposed to be where and which markers are supposed to be where. That's all. I think it's even only one string. It doesn't even have multiple lines. At least the way that I'm doing it right now. So yeah, this is the most important one. So then you will be able to take the entire folder with the software and the saved projects and then just load them on the new computer and play it directly from there. No need to record videos and record screencasts and stuff like that. You can just directly play it for students or for whatever the user needs directly from the software. And that is pretty much it. So the next thing, yeah, it's just organizing and commenting and then bug fixing. And then I probably will, I've been updating it in my machine. I might be able to, I might, after the bug fixing, update the code in GitHub on my online page. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess next time, Devlog 3, and preparation for the new features, I think. We'll see.